I'm about to make 100 candles from start to finish. Join me and watch the process as it unfolds. The whole process should take about 6 hours, but there will be quite a few breaks in between this. Sometimes I sit down and wait for the wax to cool and watch a few YouTube videos, so it's not just 6 hours in one go. The first job is to break up the wax, fill up the wax melters. Sometimes breaking up the wax is easier said than done with these big 25 kilo slabs, but a little kitchen knife gets the job done. I've got 2 little Amazon wax melters there. They both take about 4 litres in one go, but they heat up really quickly. And then I've got a big soup kettle behind me. I think I can get about 10 litres of wax in, but that does take a bit longer to heat up. So it becomes a bit of a simultaneous juggling act, trying to melt different things, get them to the right temperatures, and then get around to doing the other bits. The wax I use is a soy coconut blend, which has got pretty good hot throw and excellent glass adhesion.
Arguably the most boring part about candle making is the waiting in between each process. But it is necessary. One little tip I've learned is to make sure these are turned off and not open. I once started filling up and I heard a load of dripping and I ran in here. To my dismay, it was pissing out wax because I left it open. Quick tip, make sure the nozzle is shut. The wax is melted, we just need to check the temperature, and then I think it's going to be pouring time. 75 degrees, we'll take that.
Now the next job is to start pouring out the wax, weighing it to the correct quantities and letting that cool down to the right temperature so I can add my fragrance oil. I start getting quite a few different jugs on the go here, so I do have to be quick. There's a bit of speed, power and precision in an organised, chaotic dance that I find works quite well for my candle making. I've recently invested in a little whisk and it's made a big difference, I think, in incorporating the oils and the wax. And I just whisk the crap out of it, and then I do this periodically over the time the candle wax is cooling. So I'll whisk it for a couple of minutes in the beginning, then I'll come back to it sort of every couple of minutes, just keep whisking and whisking. I think in my brain it just helps incorporate the fragrance oil with the wax better. Whether or not it does, I'm just going to keep doing it anyway because I think it works. I feel like I get that hot throw. All subjective. I'm sure there is more science to it, but it works for me and I'm just going to keep doing it.
Now this is where it becomes a juggling act. So I've got my first batch poured, they're rhubarb candles. I need to let them cool to the right temperature. I've got 1 batch of wax just about the right temperature, so I'm going to pour that, add my next fragrance, which is going to be eucalyptus. I've topped up the other wax, so that is now melting, getting up to temperature whilst that melts and becomes liquid. And then I've got my soup kettle here, which is my biggest wax melter with about 10 litres. 10 litres. I don't think it's 10 litres. It might be 10 litres. Well, anyway, it's got a lot of wax in there. That takes a bit longer to heat up, so we're waiting for that. So in the meantime, we've got a lot going on here. But one of the benefits of winter is everything cools down pretty quick, so we don't have to wait too long. So let's crack on. And the first lot are ready to pour. The ones behind me, got 4 of those, 16 candles in total it will make, and they're all going to be rhubarb. So I'm going to get those poured now, and it becomes the dance of pouring, melting, adding fragrance, letting it cool, and just getting it all done simultaneously, and trying not to let anything get too hot or too cold.
Each of these jars holds 280 grams of liquid wax and fragrance all in one go. So I pretty much fill it almost right to the top. I want to give as much value as possible, so I want people that buy it to get a nice full candle. As the wax melts, the fragrance really does sort of come out really well. The glass gets hot and I feel you get a bit of a drip down the sides. For me, it works really well in these jars. You've got to be quite steady when you're pouring the wax. You don't want to pour too quickly, otherwise you get loads of bubbles. And equally, if you pour too quickly, you make a bit of a mess and you get wax all down the sides. That's something you don't want to do because it's a pain to clean up.
And just a quick break from pouring wax to securing the wicks. So I've got these little devices that to keep the wicks central, so we get a nice even burn when we light our candles. That's 32 candles done, a third of the way, maybe a quarter of the way for my total goal, which is about 100. If I can do a few more, that would be wicked. But I haven't got quite enough wick securing devices, so that's something I need to invest in to scale my operation up. Hopefully, as the wax set, I can take ones from wicks that are already secure. So that is the plan. But you might be wondering why I'm making so many candles in one go. Basically, I had a really good December, sold out of everything, almost, and this is just a big reset, so I'm just getting everything back up to stock, just so Amazon has that kind of momentum and that income coming in. January might be a quiet month, but if I don't have the candles there to sell, I'm not going to sell anything. So I'm just full steam ahead. Every single profit I made in December, I'm just reinvesting that in wax and other candles and ideas. So we're just going to fully restock and plan the whole year as we mean to go on. Right, the big boy's up to temperature. That's at 82 degrees, so that is good enough for me. I think I get 7 jugs out of that, so that's 7 1 kilo batches of candles, and I get 4 candles out of each jug. So 7 times 4 is 28. My times table used to be really good, but at the moment my brain feels like it's wading through sludge. So man, I feel like an idiot. But anyway, let's move on. Maybe not an idiot, maybe I'm just cramming so many new things into my brain. All of the things I learned at school are getting pushed out the other side. Maybe that's the case, because it feels like I'm constantly learning new things, trying to apply that and trying to better myself, improve my business, improve my health, fitness, mindset, all of that stuff, just trying to absorb as much as possible and put that into action. So maybe that is why I'm getting dumber in other aspects. Mental note, improve your mental arithmetic.
Okie dokie, we've got loads going on here. We've got candles that are setting, we're still melting wax, we're pouring more wax, we're adding more fragrance oil, everything's sort of cooling, slightly getting hotter. We're just kind of waiting. I sort of know where I am at with everything, and it is just playing that game of just getting everything to the right temperature and just being patient with it. It all will work out gloriously in the end, I promise.
There we have it, 100 candles done. It's been the best part of 4 hours. It's now 10:30, maybe even 5 hours in total. But yeah, pretty tired now, time for bed. We will catch up with you guys in the morning when I get round to doing the labeling and all that kind of stuff. So I reckon all in all, to do 100 candles, it's probably going to be 8 hours, I would say. We'll time it, we'll work it out. So anyway, let's have a look at everything I've done. As you can see, all of these ones are set from when I started doing it, which was about 6:30. And all these ones setting. And then I had to wick a few more, so we've got a few more there. So yeah, I think that is actually the most amount of candles I've done in one go, so yay me. And just having a slightly better ergonomic setup has made it much easier. Whereas before I was just cramped in a corner and I was running out of space, so well done.
So you might be thinking, if I say it takes 8 hours to make 100 candles, that might seem like a long time. It is not entirely labor intensive. I am sitting down watching a few YouTube videos in between waiting for things to cool. However, every single stage of my journey so far, over the years I've been doing it, I've gone from using a double boiler on my stove, I've gone from using like just a slow cooker to heat the wax up, and I've got several wax melters. There's always the next step I can take to improve my sort of systems and improve the amount of work I can get done. So at the moment, I might be at a max capacity, but there's the next step. There's always a way to make it easier, always a way to improve, and always a way to get more out of my time. So that is always the plan. At the moment, I'm happy with what I'm doing.
That's it, 100 candles completed. Melted, poured, labels, stickers, tags, everything ready to go. The only thing I need to do now is box them all up and ship them to Amazon, but I think we'll do that either later tonight or another day. So all in all, it's probably taken me 6, 7, possibly 8 hours. There's been a lot of breaks in between because quite frankly, the labeling and all that I find the most tedious. Everything else, quite good fun. The pouring, the melting, the smells, and just being involved with with your hands and everything. Fun. Labeling, no. So this is what we've done so far. I'll show you. A small amount of chaos and a bit of mess. So yeah, I'll have to have a bit of a tidy up at some point, but at the moment there really isn't much point to it. Just I think inherently making candles and everything comes with it is a bit messy, so I find it easier just to cane it all out and then tidy up later. The boxing process is also another slightly tedious process, as I've got to put all these candles in little Hessian bags, make all the boxes, put them on the boxes, get the Amazon labels, and then all the other labels ready for it. It is what it is. I don't mind it. I just listen to a podcast and zone out. Me of maybe 5, 10 years ago would not have the patience to do this, so just keep plodding away at it. At some point I'll be able to systematize it, and maybe I could employ people to do it. Who knows? Let's see where this goes.